If you have ever wondered whether your Xero is set up correctly, then this video is for you, because I am going to be taking you through 4 quick ways to check whether your Xero has been set up correctly for your business. Let's jump into Xero and see what those 4 things are. I'm going to quickly run you through each of them. Here we are in Xero. And the first tip that I have for you on what you need to check is your conversion balances in Xero. So if you have moved to Xero from any other piece of software or Excel, etc., basically if your business was not brand spanking new when you moved to Xero, you should have your conversion balances set up correctly. How you can check whether this has been done correctly is if you go to your accounting menu in Xero and you go to advanced. At the bottom of the advanced options, you will see this conversion balances section. You're going to click on that and you will come to this screen. Now, what you are looking for is you should have opening balances entered here. So first off, if there are no figures entered there, you know you have an issue. And your opening balances your debits should exactly equal your credits. So if there is an adjustment figure showing here, or the screen hasn't been saved down, so it still needs to be saved, then there will be an issue with your Xero and you need to address your opening balances. So you need to make sure you have figures entered here and that they balance off with one another. That is the point number 1. Now, following on from point number 1, we're going to jump into point 2. And the reason why it follows on is because the conversion balances could be the reason this has an issue, but it also could be due to a bank feed glitch. So we're going to be jumping into, I've come back here to the dashboard, and we're going to jump into your business's bank account. So if we click into that from the dashboard, you initially land on this account transactions tab. I want you to toggle across to the bank statements tab. So now what we want to do is we want to check that the bank balance that is pulling through to Xero agrees to our online banking or our most recent bank statement. So in Xero, this bank statement here should be an exact reflection of your bank balance that you have running in your actual bank. If there's a difference, the 2 most common reasons for that will be that there's a glitch with your bank feed, which is easy enough to fix, or it could be that your conversion balances have not been entered correctly. So let's first diagnose whether there is an issue. What you need to do is log into your online banking for your business, and you want to go back at least a day or 2 just to make sure you have a date that you can agree in both places. And say we go with the 11th of April in this example, you want to go to the last transaction on that date and take the balance of the account after the last transaction on that date. So for 11th of April, that will be the 6,519 and 79 pence. Okay, and you want to go and do the same in your bank account. Go look at your bank account, go find the last transaction on the 11th of April, and the bank balance after that last transaction should exactly, down to the last pence or cents here, should agree. If it doesn't, then that's an indication that either there's been a glitch in your bank feed or those conversion balances have not been entered correctly. Okay, and there's a whole process you need to follow to then go and diagnose which one that is. I'm not going to make this video too long, so just know that that means that there's something that you need to investigate further. So that was point number 2. Point number 3 is to check your financial settings. So again, we are going here to the accounting menu, and we're going to go down to our financial settings. If you cannot see the financial settings as an option on this menu, you can go into advanced, and you just need to make sure that financial settings are favorited or starred so that in future they do appear on this drop down menu. You can see for me it has been starred, and that's why it appears on my menu, and I am going to jump into these settings. Now, what you are looking for here is dependent on your business. If you are VAT registered, you do not want this to say none. If you are not VAT registered, that's fine. But if you are VAT registered, you need to make sure you've selected the appropriate scheme and that your correct VAT period and VAT number are entered in. And ideally, you should have your tax default set up. If this has not been entered correctly, you're going to have issues. If you are working in the construction space and you are a UK-based business, you almost certainly are going to need to be registered as a contractor or subcontractor. So you need these correctly clicked and all your relevant information entered. I wouldn't worry about having a BACS service user number there. That is fine if that is blank. And then finally, the final two things you want to check is that you have a lock date in place. So if this is blank, as you can see in this scenario, that is a sign that your Xero could have issues in it, because basically you are not ensuring that your data has financial integrity. And what I mean by that is, say the year ended 31st of December has already passed and you have submitted accounts and corporation tax return to HMRC, or you've submitted your personal tax return as you're a sole trader to HMRC, you should then have your Xero locked up to the end of that tax return, so you cannot make any further edits. So if that lock date is blank, or if it's not up to the end of your most recent financial year, that is a sign that there could be something wrong with your Xero. And of course, you want the time zone to reflect the time zone that you're in. So that was tip number 3. And then last of all, the other quick kind of win you can have to check if your Xero has been set up correctly is to go to your chart of accounts. Again, it should appear here under your advanced as an option that you can click into. If it's not there, you can go advanced and then you will find your chart of accounts up here. Now, there is lots that you can check in your chart of accounts to make sure that it is tailored to your specific business. Kind of like you get a tailored suit versus a big bulky suit that fits but looks awkward. We want to make sure that your chart of accounts is like a well-tailored suit. And there's lots you can do to achieve that. But as a very quick win, what you need to do is jump into the equity section here. And you need to make sure that the equity that is set up is appropriate for your specific business type. If you are a sole trader, then you need this owner funds introduced and owner drawings to be there, but you should not have capital on ordinary shares, because as a sole trader, you do not have any ordinary shares in your business. So if you're a sole trader, you want to hit this little checkbox and you want to archive that account. And of course, the opposite applies. If you are running your business as a limited company, you do not want these owner funds introduced and owner drawings accounts here, because that is nothing to do with a limited company. That is the type of equity accounts that we need for a sole trader. So if you're running a limited company, you want to archive these 2 accounts and keep that capital account there. Okay, so those are my 4 top tips. Hopefully you found them useful. If you would like to kind of learn more, how do you fix these errors? How do you begin to delve deeper and actually get Xero tailored to your needs? Then please do hit that like and subscribe button. Like the video, subscribe to me, and you'll then get notified when I release future videos. And do comment below if you have any follow-on questions. Thank you.